I got a cousin, man. He is on my dad's side. You know, he probably don't watch it, but he has multiple women.
Mm-hmm.
He told me this at one time at the wedding. He said, "Yeah, you know, cause I date many women." I said, "They cool it." I said, "No." So sometimes someone slap me.
There's nothing wrong with having trauma. We all do. You just need to do something about it. Come on, unpack your trauma with it.
Right.
Exactly.
And then, you know, this part of it is talking about women in not talking about women, but in a situation. The man, just look at it. Some of these men that you say not good, they don't want a commitment or they want a family, but they're married or remarried and have kids. Yeah. So it wasn't a commitment and it wasn't about family. So something else is wrong. And, you know, we got to be honest about that.
Right. I like that.
With that being said, Rodney, I think, which was what I was going to highlight, not just communication, but the active listening has to be a big thing.
Yes.
Right. Because like what was talked about before, you know, there can be a lot of times when signs have been shown, talks have been made, or, you know, things have been talked about, but the other person isn't actively listening. And I don't mean just one-sided too, because I know a lot of the times when people think of communication, it's like he doesn't or she doesn't, right? But I definitely believe it's very much, it takes two to tango. Like communication, as simple it isn't easy. Right. The concept is very simple, right? I speak, you listen, and vice versa, right? But like, for instance, kind of what we're doing now, how everybody's able to allow the other person to speak and we really take in what's being said here. So much harder when there's feelings involved, negative or positive, because especially if the person is already on the defensive or offensive, you're not listening. You just want to make sure your point gets across. And I think people highlight that part too much about communication, right? Because yes, you want to get how you feel across, but so does the other person.
Right. That's good.
Right. So it's like, you got to really sit there with your partner or whoever it is, friends, family, whatever, really sit there and be like, okay, before we start, let's really hear each other out before we formulate what we need to say. Because that's the only way you'll really get to where you're trying to go.
You're only 24. You think like that? Good.
Because you're learning. Listen to understand.
Good.
Listen to understand, not to respond. Because that's usually like, it's like quick draw. You know, when you're in that kind of situation. Before you finish talking, I see where you're going, and I got the response already. I'm going to block that.
I'm going to counter it.
Yes, I'm going to counter it. And no, you don't get anywhere like that.
Yeah. So most time people go in relationships, particularly when you think young people and older people, they already going in to defend.
I will say all across the board, yes. I will say in my generation, that's huge. And another part,
what's huge in your generation?
That wanting to get your point across without listening. And I think it's a pride thing.
Okay.
Right? That vulnerability we don't like. We really don't like. It's so much easier to point the finger elsewhere. Okay. Instead of highlighting yourself. Right? Like, let's say I may have a problem with the person I'm talking with, but I don't want you to think I'm soft because I told you. Or I don't want you to think I'm sassy. That's the new word now. I don't, just because I'm expressing my disagreement with what you're doing or how you're moving. Right? So I'm going to just play it cool because I think that's what I'm supposed to do. Meanwhile, I'm still going to move differently, and you're confused now as to why I'm moving differently. So now you move differently instead of a conversation just being had. I really don't like this. Whether she agrees or not, be like, this is why I do it. Maybe we can come to a compromise, or that's when you need to separate it. Also wanting to hold on to the person. You tend not to say certain things and try to overlook stuff knowing you really don't agree with that. Right. Just so you're not alone or you can keep that person around.
Do you find yourself doing that today in relationships?
With the person that I'm talking to now, I'm fighting every step of the way to not do those things.
Intentionally make the right moves.
And I've let that be known.
Are you fighting intentionally not to make sure it's not all about them and make sure you show up? That's what it sounds like?
I'm making sure that I let my intentions known right then and there. If I have an issue with something, I'm not going to hold it in, and I'm not going to just move and disappear.
And the reason you, excuse me, and the reason you probably would normally not say nothing because you fear that they might move on.
Not even so much the moving on; it's the weariness of like a parent in a child relationship. At some point, you just don't say nothing because they're not going to do anything different. One or two, it's I don't want you to look at me in a emasculating way because I simply expressed how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't like disrespect either. So if I feel like if I say this and it's going to get very disrespectful, I will not say anything because I don't want to blow
So
up.
in that, you're not showing up
Yes, I guess you would say yes.
because you're feared. So then, one of the things I could say, learning, show it to be who you are. Because then when you come up different, like, I don't remember this side of you.
Mm-hmm.
True.
You've never been like this.
Yeah.
Then you gotta have. I've been holding back because every time I try to talk to you about this, seem like you get defensive. So for peace sake, I ignored it.
Yeah.
So we gotta figure and it's still on community. How do I communicate hard subjects?
Yeah.
Without me think I'm gonna push them away.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes it's in the tone.
Yeah.
It's in delivery. It's in the body language. Hands folded, arms, legs crossed. All those are like shutting off. And so it's probably in the delivery because I want for you because you want to be in a healthy relationship, like be yourself.
Yeah.
Because I know for me in the dating game, you be what the other person needs you to be. Because I'm just trying to get what I want to get from you.
Right.
Right.
I'll be that guy.
Right.
I can listen, but I know I really don't like listening all the time.
No,
Right.
I don't.
I go to an event, but I really want to probably do something different because I'm gonna
Right.
be what you need to be to get what I want out of the relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when you get what you want out of the relationship, then you show up like, who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so advice I have, be you. Because there's a person who's gonna love you
Gotcha.
for you. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I believe by doing that, you actually weed out people faster.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
shouldn't be in your life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, maybe they'll be better for someone else, and probably not. It depending on what it is.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be in relationships.
Right.
But when you do that, especially being the man,
Mhm.
you know, there's expectations on us. You know,
Yes.
I'm just being honest. We're
Yes.
talking about it, right?
Yeah.
In this day and time, I hate it for your age because you have the modern women who want traditional men. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
You want me to be traditional and do all these things, but then you're going to be modern and don't do nothing,
Yeah.
And so for a man, it's rough starting out dating. So the women, we know, if you see the man just wants sex, then weed him out. And like I said, you got to be wise because people can play the role on that
Very
too.
well.
They can, right? And there is a wisdom to it. But I believe in those situations, if you feel automatically, and this is something that helped me, if I already feel that there's an issue for me being honest, then I'm in the wrong
Yes.
with the wrong
That's also
person.
true.
If you gotta be like withdrawn and like, ooh, I shouldn't say that, like, then I'm not being myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the wrong person.
That's the wrong person.
Yeah.
Or they could be the right person, but you don't give them a chance.
Then
Yes,
that was the
that's
next
nice.
thing.
That's
That's what I
Exactly.
was saying at the beginning. We was talking about, I think it was on air, all off air, but like show up your 100% who you are.
Yeah.
Be the best version of that you can be for that person. It's fair to them and to yourself.
That's it.
Because now we both know what we're working with.
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's just like, well, then but if not, you're gonna have a bunch of lady friends,
Right.
Right.
associates.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I saw this. I never seen the movie, but it was a good clip. I wish I could find it. It was like, it was dope. It was like, so it was one of the ladies plays on, the young girl played on, what's that show? What's the guy lead? Oh man, by the way, Diana Ross' daughter plays the mother.
Oh, is that Blackish?
Teresa, what's her name? She's
Yeah.
light
Yeah,
skinned.
Ross. Is
Oh,
it
yeah,
Blackish?
yeah.
Blackish.
Blackish.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
yeah.
Blackish, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, so the oldest daughter is in the movie, right?
Okay.
Is in the movie. This
Okay.
other guy, and they were just having a scene, and she was like, and I guess their best friend. I just want to tell you I'm sorry. He said, no. We said no. He said, you always do this. She said, I just realized. He said, I'm that guy. I'm always there for you. You said I'm the guy that you.
Oh, Grownish.
I don't know what.
Because it's a
Yes.
spinoff.
Yes. With
Oh,
Trevor
yeah.
Jackson.
I
That's
don't
the
know.
other
I don't
guy.
know what show that was in, but it was so good. He said, I'm the guy you kiss to get over a boyfriend.
Yep.
I'm the guy you call for this. She said, no, I'm sorry. I'm not angry with you. I'm angry with myself.
For allowing it.
I thought that you I didn't realize how selfish you were. He said,
Right.
I'm mad at myself that I thought you actually would show up for me when I needed you.
Right.
I'm like, whoa, that was
Right.
so, because he was what she needed to be.
Right.
And he never got what he needed. And so for us,
Lived that
oh,
a few
same.
times.
Oh,
Exactly what you described.
really?
When I start asking questions, I start asking myself the questions first. I made a list. And I was like, you know what? I'm there all the time. I genuinely love this person.
Mm.
And it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't even a good situation for me, but because of my love, I dealt with that to help you out.
Yeah.
But when I start asking myself the questions and I had no answer, I said, what is she actually doing for me consistently that I can count on? I asked myself that. I couldn't come up with no answers. And I'm pretty detailed, right?
Right.
I'm thinking, I'm like, wow. That's when my eyes really opened at that point. So I said, you know what? I'm going to give them an opportunity. I was in the kitchen one day. Say, you know what? What can you think of that you actually do for me consistently? That you can count? That I can count on you being that. Now, I knew in my mind from my own conversation, I could count on you being inconsistent.
I was going to say all negative things.
Yes, they were negative. I can count on you not doing these things, but it was nothing positive that you brought to the table. So I asked her. So we went on, and so she stood there for a while. Couldn't really think of nothing. I said, no. I said, what's that? I said, so she stumbled around so long. So I said, I'll tell you what. What's my favorite food? I just broke it down simple, right? Should know that, right? She named the dish she liked cooking, and I started laughing. I said, I do like that. I said, but that's not my favorite food.
That's your favorite dish to cook.
Right.
That's what it was.
Right.
Yes, I responded good. I like that, but I'm asking you. So after the pause didn't get too long, and I tried to come up with something, I said, okay. I said, that's okay. I said, I know your favorite food, and I gave the favorite food. I said, but let me break it down. This is where it got hysterical laughing. Right. Both of us. It was funny. I said, okay. I picked just simple stuff, Subway. And I told her how she liked the bread, how she wanted on the bread, how she wanted it cut. Just me describing it got really funny.
Yeah.
I said, that's how particular you are.
And how much you
And that's how much you invested in her.
I knew these things. I moved on to this Mexican restaurant. I said, you want this? You only want 1 teaspoon of beans, boom, boom. And we're laughing. I moved on to the next restaurant. All these places. I knew detail how to order your food. And you can't even tell me what my favorite one food is.
I've been there too.
Because you don't care. I realize that this is all about you. If we were on a sitcom, you would be the star. I'm the background side character. Yeah. I'm not even the co-star because you don't know nothing about me. You can't pick anything. And that's when it got, and 2 weeks later, she got really angry. Yeah, I'm going to start writing stuff down. I said, you don't even need a notepad. I said, you don't even need sticky notes. Because then after that gave me power because now I realize what I'm dealing with. I said, you don't even need 1 sticky note to write down what you do for me because it ain't nothing to put on it.
It's blank.
It's blank. And that's when I really start paying attention and trying to help people because I've been in that situation. Yeah. But they're being conditioned through our society, through culture, social media.
To be waited on. To
be that way. And they say, what are you bringing to the table? No, what are you bringing to the table? The list of characteristics, they can't line up themselves, unfortunately, some of them. And this can go both ways. Mm-hmm. I said, look, you want somebody who loving what? While you mean disrespectful, whatever? Right? You say you want a guy, you want him to be loyal, but while you're disloyal? Posting stuff and down doing all this scheming and stuff and down this list. I said, wow, you don't even match up to the list that you want. You don't qualify.
Right.
That's crazy.
You wouldn't date you.
Oh, look at you. I went to an event and I was, doing the radio show. A woman created some cards similar to those Tonight cards. Mm-hmm. She created her own. She had a wine tasting. We did that. So she had an adult game, a card she created. It was velvet with little gold highlights and all this stuff. And one of the questions for the game said, would you date yourself? Mm-hmm. So it came to me. I said, yes, I would. And my girlfriend said, no, she wouldn't. So, of course, a few questions on that game, on the way home, you already know it's coming back, right? Mm-hmm. So she said, I said, why wouldn't you date yourself? Oh, I wouldn't want nobody just like me or whatever like that. And my mind said, yep, you sure wouldn't, right? No. I said, I would date myself. I said I would love to date a woman or be married to a woman that's loyal like me, that's giving like me.
Yep.
I named all those qualities. I said, yeah, I would love to receive those things back. And you won't even date yourself.
Right.
And here's a killer, and I'll let y'all go on with it. So she had a son, and a young woman was doing her son the same thing she was doing to me, and she was going off and telling him, you need to leave her, and boop, 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 and this, that, and I'm just sitting there looking. I said, wow. So I shouldn't even be sitting here according to what you just told your son.
So it sounds like he's dating his mama.
Yes.
Well, he was. And his mama told him to get rid of her. So while they talking, I should have started packing bags, I said, what'd you do? I'm following your advice that you just told your son. That's what I should have did.
Yeah.
But you understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
They create this and then wouldn't date themselves.
And that's why I think it's important to know yourself, so you won't stay in those relationships.
Yes.
Because you're just gonna have a bunch of folks that you calling a day, and I just have friends I support.
Right.
You have a bunch of them. You spend all this and still investing in what you need.
Right.
And so for all young people, if I can look back, if I was 24, I was like, okay, so you're saying I should show up, be myself?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can weave them out.
Yes.
Like, oh, I like fried chicken. I'm a vegan. We probably not gonna work out.
Right.
Or we're going to figure out some kind of compromise.
That's it.
That make that tofu taste like fried chicken.
or we go to
fryer.
places where they have both.
yeah.
Or some days I might want salad, you eat yours.
Right.
We got to be on it, but you got to respect for who I am.
Yeah, exactly.
And I respect you for who. Yeah. So
don't lose yourself.
Don't lose yourself, man.
Because that's what we do.
Yeah.
I'm catering to you, and I love doing that.
Right.
Yes.
But then you're not looking out for me, so I'm never me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never getting anything out of it.
Let's talk about that for a second. And I'm the exact same way. Like, the previous relationship that I was actually in,
Sure,
I catered to her hand and foot. Like, she had mentally, she was she had a lot going on. She had not to get too much detail, but her parents were on drugs and other things like that. That she was pretty much the parent for her siblings, different things like that. So mentally, just how, we talk about being someone's peace, right? So she would come to the house, there's food already on the table, the bath water's already running, your clothes have been washed. Like, that's just how I am. And it was never a hesitation. Like, that's just how I am. Like, whatever I can do to make you feel better is what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even drive at the time. It was a 2-hour bus ride to get to her. Whenever she's distraught at work, I would leave football practice after my day is done, take that 2-hour bus ride, be stranded in that area because the buses don't run where I live anymore like that. Just to be like, you're going to be okay. You can make it through your shift. She was suicidal. She was cutting. I stopped her from doing those things. No, you're going to eat when you're around me. No, we're going to do this. No, we're going to do that. Because I have no problem, because if I'm ever that way with someone, I'm looking long term.
okay,
Right? If we became boyfriend and girlfriend, that means I'm going to start treating you like you're going to be my wife. So, because that's what the practice is, right? Yeah, everybody thinks the end all be all is marriage, but I'm going to be doing these things as your husband.
You're showing those qualities of a husband.
Right. Might as well get into
Beforehand,
the practice of
right.
it. Right, exactly. It should be second nature now by that time. Things should be easier in that regard.
right.
However, after I found out her infidelity, mind you, dropped out of school, out of college, so I can make sure that I have money for this baby that ain't even mine. And then
I said, my God.
twice, by the way.
Twice.
Yes. And then, on top of that, they didn't want them. The other people that she was sleeping with didn't want the kid. And so she follows in her parents' footsteps and starts taking things and miscarries. I still got to pick up the pieces, still got to reapply to college, still got to do all these things. I'm sleeping on a couch in her garage.
She didn't let you in the house?
There's no room. She had a big family. So I'm making these sacrifices, long story short, for her. No complaints, no nothing. Helping out in the house, working with her dad in construction, like I'm all hands, right? And then when I found out the infidelity and all those things, I never brought it to her family or anything like that. I just simply disappeared. Right? And later on down the road, when they did find out, I still got ridiculed. Like, why did I leave? She's only used to people leaving. And I pretty much got blamed for a lot of things.
And you revealed to them the things that made you leave.
Oh, I broke it. I broke everything down when that conversation was had.
Right.
And they were like, and I said, I usually, my respect on terms of how I don't like disrespect, I would have been left long time ago. Though through my mom, I've learned when things get hard, you still stick it out, right? Whether that's family, friends, whatever job, you stick it out. That's just what you do. So especially if I see this person as being my future wife, I'm gonna stick it out because when we're married, the same thing gonna happen, right? The same thing's got, the sticking out part. I don't believe in divorcing. You know what I'm saying? So okay, so I stayed way longer than I needed to.
Yeah, way longer.
Way longer than I needed to, and only for me not to get any type of recognition for it. I think that's what really started my. I'm cool. I'm digressing a lot.
Now, so you became her savior to a degree.
Yes.
I was about to
Her
yank
safety
the
net.
cape off his back
Yeah.
because the hero.
Yeah,
Yes,
the hero. Yep, you're the hero. I know a lot of people do that.
Captain Saban.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
so now you in a new relationship. What are you? Because those are good qualities if you're getting in it back, reciprocated.
That's what I'm working on right now.
So when you say working on, it makes me a little nervous. What do you mean working on?
So I'm working on one while still showing who I am, not giving too much of myself.
No. I would like to disagree with you. I want you to be yourself because the right person is going to be reciprocate of that. So being yourself, mean like this is who I am. Oh,
But but not giving too much in the beginning. If we're not boyfriend and girlfriend,
well then why are you dating? Why are you even talking to them?
I'm dating because I want to see the potential in that.
So dating meaning we're dating.
Right.
Friends, we're friends. So we need to figure out what are we right now?
We're dating.
So okay, then so now we are dating. So then dating, she should be doing the same thing. Because if you don't, you got to give it a name. You can have 1,000 friends. Don't be afraid. If she moves, it's another woman out there that's for you. When we grew up, we say there's plenty of fish in the sea. So what I'm saying, so you have to be honest and say, have a conversation. I'm not putting pressure on you, but I know what I want.
So I have a question with that thing.
Sure.
Right. So I'm sure generationally dating, the term dating has been different if that makes sense. And the reason why I say so is because if I go out on a date with someone, that's considered me dating them, but that doesn't mean they're my girlfriend.
No, not for me.
Yeah, that's just a date.
It's just a date.
Right. So if I'm getting to know this person, right, there's been talk of there's mutual feelings.
Okay.
Right. We've gone maybe on 2 dates, but we talk consistently throughout the day.
Okay.
Have they told you what they wanted?
Yes, they have.
What they say?
They say they want a relationship, but at the same time, they don't want to jump straight into one because they have a lot of things that they want to accomplish that they know. They're like me. They'll drop everything that they're supposed to be doing and just deal with this person, and everything else is on the back burner.
Okay.
With my experience, I'm not even talking about the person.
Right.
But when a person ready to date, all that stuff, they talking about it's a lie. They're ready. Yeah. So then that means if that person is gonna finish school, they're not ready to date. So you got to be honest with yourself. They're not ready to date.
Okay.
They're just so then you want me to be a friend. So you want to be committed, but not committed. You want to be invested, but not super invested. Because I told you I'm got stuff to do. So it leaves you hanging your life, waiting on them to make up their mind. But I'm still invested because this could become something. But
so
my
you're just friends.
You're just friends. You're just friends.
Right.
Okay. Don't lie to yourself. Don't see. And this how come I say like, and so I am free to find someone else,
new friends.
Yeah.
Who's ready.
Because you're not sleeping around with them.
No.
So
and the friends could, and you could tell like, just let you know, I just met another person.
Yeah.
I like her. She likes me. We're looking to. She wants to date now. So I'm just reaching out to you if I get started. How do you feel?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So, and I'm telling you from experience, don't, because if not, you're going to become the friend. And then you look like, dang, they start dating somebody. How do you get? Because they define what they want. Most men's, like, I'm not wasting my time. You ain't ready. You ain't ready. It's all
Right,
good.
and that's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't have to be. I want to save you from being. I love you, Mr. Ryder said, the hero,
Yeah.
the savior. Because sometimes women become the hero. A lot of women do that too.
They do it
Yep.
too.
They
Yes,
fix
they
them
do.
up, save them, hero, and they're like, but they're not ready yet. But I want to go take care of them. They got sick,
Right.
and next thing you know, they date some other woman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they, in worst case scenarios, I know some women, they married somebody else.
They marry somebody
Yes.
else.
So that means you're not the one,
You're not the one.
and that's all. And
There should be no hesitation.
yeah, right.
But man, and I feel like my heart goes out to anyone. I love what Mr. Ryder said. The hardest thing here, like, you're not the one. Because when you're the one, people find a way to make it work.
They do.
Very true.
So just so that, know that you'll find a way. All the excuses means nothing. So when you say they just like me, I think you were like, I'm ready to date now. I figure I make it all work. Cause you just told us you the same guy, left college, and you was a big dude playing.
Right.
You drove a bus for hours. You slept in the garage. Are they like you?
Yeah, I would never do that again until I
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you learn
That's
from
why-
that.
Yeah, that's why I to a certain extent I'm that way because I'll never do that again. Trust and believe until there's at least an engagement ring on your
Well,
finger.
no,
You know what I'm saying?
I want you to be that again, but I want you to be the one who wants the same thing that you want, if that makes sense. And so for what I can learn, all the young people that's listening today, if you're dating, and we be clear from day one, you'll know if are we gonna be friends? Are we looking to date, get to know each other? We can go a few dates to get to know, and then we'll say in a couple weeks, we on different pages. Cool.
Right.
I got a cousin, man. He is on my dad's side. You know, he probably don't watch it, but he has multiple women.
Mm-hmm.
He told me this at one time at the wedding. He said, yeah, you know, cause I date many women. I said, they cool it. I said, no. So sometimes someone slap me.
He tells them.
But he said, but I'm honest with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
If
said,
you choose to stay, that's
he
on
said,
you.
I'm honest with them. He said, the girl he brought, he said, yeah, she know I have her and I date different women. I tell them who I am.
Mm-hmm.
That's their choice. I
True.
respect that.
True.
But I'm my true self.
Right.
I thought that was dope.
Yeah.
I said,
That's
end of
how
the
we
day,
should be.
whether it's my morals or not,
Yeah.
at least he's showing for who he is.
Yeah.
Right. And you can choose.
You can choose.
Get ready
Right.
to get lost.
Yeah. Well, not only that, just like, I just who I am. He said, I date many women. I don't have, whether, he said, I said, no, he was, I said, do they agree? He said, no. Some one woman slaps. They don't agree with that. It's okay. Now move on.
Right.
You're right.
So, man, I'm telling you, my heart go out to you, you know, man, be yourself and call it what it is. You're a nice looking dude, big dude, and that you got to believe, you got to have confidence. Like, I am valuable. I heard
Yes.
everyone say, know your value.
That's key.
What you do for women on that, man, you better than me. You go in. You are valuable. You got to know that though.
Right. That you have a certain value.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter what a person want to pay.
Yes.
Right.
Ooh.
See, I got
value doesn't
Michelle
change.
McKinney Hammond. I'm a fan of her.
Say that again.
Because
say that again.
you go into a store
Yeah.
and you might only want to pay a certain amount, right?
Right.
But it said, but this is valued this, and this is the only what you're gonna,
So either
That's
you
it.
get it or you don't.
or you don't. So in that situation, I want to get these things done. Hey, I totally understand that. Now, me personally, from my experience now, I'm not going to invest much time or energy, anything.
Mm-mm.
You say, because I've had
She's
this
done
from
that,
women.
by the way. What you're about to say, she's done that. Continue.
Oh, really? I mean, you'll get to the point where, let's go hang out. Well, hey, I'm going to be here at this showtime. That's it. I'm not buying no tickets. I don't want to say that because you're not getting in because I'm not paying.
Mhm.
See, 'cause that's what I've run into. They still want all this stuff. Like, we're not nothing. Do you pay for all your girlfriend stuff?
Nope.
No, they do not. They don't. They will get rid of a woman out of their group who's mooching on everybody.
Yes.
So if we're talking about just a friendship, don't try to abuse me because I'm a male.
Right.
Yes.
Then I don't want you in my life.
Yeah.
You're not a friend of mine
Mhm.
if you're going to try to use me,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
So in that situation, you would like to move forward, and they say, hey, well, you know, I want to accomplish all these things. Say, hey, I wish you the best. Keep doing your thing.
And I'm going to still support you.
Right?
From a distance.
Let me know your graduation. But I wouldn't even do that.
I wouldn't say I'm support you. I don't have to support you.
You don't owe them anything.
You don't owe nothing. You don't have to be that guy.
Right.
If I can help with that. You don't have to be that guy.
No, you don't have to be Superman.
Thank you for showing me who you are, because my mindset, I want to date. I'm 24. I grew up in relationships. I like relationships.
Right.
Like you told me, you want to be a husband. You go in a relationship like if I was a husband. I never dated like that when I was younger, but you do. So that's mean you want relationship. Right. So be yourself to a degree.
Let me clarify on that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
If I want to be your boyfriend, there's been people that I just talked to, and that's all it is. I play it like this. The only time you'll get that out of me is if I see a potential with you. If I'm just killing time with you, I can care less.
Just hanging out.
We just hang out.
Right.
I'm not like that with everyone, but the people that know me know that I'm not like that with everyone.
Right.
Right. If I have friends that we just hanging out, we just go eat, cool, whatever. That's all it is. Whatever you got going.
So that's been defined. Those relationships are fine.
Right.
But you're not defining the ones you really like because you don't want to be rejected.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're going in.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be honest and define the ones you listen. You know what? Because men are visual. There's something about that one you really like. It's the visual.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that gets you. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Be honest with that person. Because they like, oh, I didn't know. I told you I met this other dude. Boom, boom. We go to the same school. You're like, dang.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a whole nother definition.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, when I go back when I was in elementary, I had a whole nother definition. She didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But in my mind, I had something totally different. You feel what I'm trying to say to you now?
Yeah.
Go say it.